Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of RE/MAX Associated Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com.
Good afternoon. You drive around your cars, you little fast automobiles on 101.7 Saturday afternoon. You're listening to us, the American Car Classics guys. I'm Kenny Schofield. With me, as always, the fabulous Mike Carano. You
Hey,
look great.
what's going on? Thank
black
you, sir.
on black on black.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the triple segment. That's what's hot, right?
I'm like
When you
Johnny
do-
Cash.
That you are a little bit like Johnny Cash. I don't know if you ever had the facial hair.
No.
Steve Charbonneau, how are you, buddy?
Doing good.
You look like you just came from work.
Yep, working.
I did too, but I had to change clothes. it's hot down in Grant, or up in Grant, I guess we are, and I put deodorant on before I come in here. Hey, real quick, let's do this because we're fresh out of almost 2 full weeks with Mecum.
Yeah.
So I've asked the illustrious John Crane to come back on the radio show. And John, you're with us?
I am here, my friends.
Hey,
you
John.
are already back up in Wisconsin?
Yeah, it is cold up here, but we're still feeling the heat from the Mecum Kissimmee auction, and it has nothing to do with what the temperatures were down there.
And you should, because I've got a piece of paper in here that has our number $217 million.
Well, I think that says it all. That auction, Mecum Kissimmee 2022, at $217 million in sales, is the absolute highest price generated ever at a collector car auction, period. Nobody has ever done more than that at one event.
That's great.
And it smashed last year's record, record last year from 2021 at about $120 million. So we beat it almost by $100 million. There is just so much interest and fervor right now in the collector car world, and we were there to take advantage of it. Talk about a win-win situation.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Amelia Island. I mean, everything. You blew it all away.
Yeah, Barrett
Everything.
Jackson.
Yeah, right.
Everybody. Nobody's ever done. No one's ever done it.
And honestly,
not even close.
Going into this year, everybody just has to be riding a high because, COVID is kind of settling and we're getting used to this. And people obviously were not afraid to come out and in droves and spend. And the economy, as it is still very strong in this car collector game. And you've got a packed year.
Yes. This auction traditionally, of course, it's Mecum's biggest. Now it's the world's biggest it's ever been held. But this auction traditionally sets the stage for the remainder of the year. Everybody in the collector car world pays attention to what's happening with Mecum Kissimmee because it's the first major event to occur. And I don't know that anybody could have predicted the kind of potential sales that we ended up with. But it's really a continuation, guys, of what we've been seeing for the past year and a half and now almost 2 years of just a steady upward tick in the demand and the passion for collector vehicles. And the only thing that I can relate it to at this point is that cars that we love, cars from our past, cars we always wanted, everybody's got a different story. They put us in our happy place, and that's where people want to be right now. They want to be with things that they're comfortable with, things that they've always wanted, and most importantly, things that make them happy. I know how I feel when I'm behind the wheel of my collector cars. I'm sure you guys feel the same way, and now we're letting more and more people experience that at the same time. And just a final thought on that, what we saw there at this auction is a definite positive shift from kind of the old school nostalgia buyers, as I call them, to a younger generation of what now I'm referring to as legacy buyers. The transition is happening.
Yeah.
I predicted it. We all kind of talked about it over the years. I knew what happened, and it is.
That is awesome. I worked on a 2014 Corvette. I put spark plugs in it yesterday. Took it for a little spin. And I talked to you before about our 70 Nova, Lucy, and I got in that car, the Nova, and I got in her with roll down windows and wiping the side of the wipers, the windshield with my rag, and I drove it to Chattanooga without a problem. This Corvette, it just feels like you're in a modern car. It's got a little speed and whatever, but it's not the same as classic car metal and the steering wheel.
It's a different fit.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. When I go around a corner in Lucy, I slide across the seat. But when you're in a new modern car, it kind of just got you all wrapped in. You almost don't need a seatbelt because it's hugging you so tight.
They're built around you.
Yeah, we were just so blown away with the weather that we had there, John. 11 days, 10 days was perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
My question is like, so we were talking to a couple of the car collectors from, I think there was 2 of them from California, over 200 cars, I think it was, or 150 apiece. But they had these cars shipped all the way from California. That's a huge shipping bill.
John,
well, it is, but it paid off.
It did,
because what we had there at this auction, unprecedented, a lot of records at this auction.
Yeah.
Way too many to go down. But one of the key points is 40 specific collections sold at this auction, and a lot of those collections, a few were from estates, most of them were older collectors. The fact that there's a new generation, there is a whole new wave of interest and buyers coming into the market that it proved. I think the naysayers, once they look at and study the results of what Mecum accomplished during this auction, finally, for once, they're going to get it, that cars are they're part of Americana. They're not going away. They're not generational. Yeah, the baby boomer generation put it up on the front burner, but there's a new generation of enthusiasts that is even potentially even a stronger market, and that includes resto mods, but yet the respect for either original or original restored cars were at an all-time high as well. It was almost unbelievable. If I hadn't been there to see it, 24 hours of television coverage on our new network, Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus streaming. By the way,
fabulous.
For your listeners, fantastic new partnership with an automotive network. It was another match made in heaven, and it's just so much excitement and passion and gratitude that this event was still there. It was as big as it ever was, and the fact that it just completely rewrote the record books was just sort of the icing on the cake.
So why do you think they chose the Kissimmee auction? I mean, because you guys obviously have more auctions closer to the West Coast, but why do you think they chose this graphic area of Kissimmee to do this?
They could have gone, John, real quick, I'm going to answer that. They could have gone to a playoff game some other state, but they went to the Super Bowl in Kissimmee. John, is that about it? This was the Super Bowl of motorsports.
We call it the Super Bowl and the Daytona 500 all wrapped up into one.
Yeah.
In regard to the collector car market. All Mecum auctions do well, but the Kissimmee auction has developed a reputation for being the world's biggest, period.
See, that makes sense.
And obviously we proved that. We drove that point home. It's always been the world's largest in the amount of days and the amount of cars in it.
Yeah.
But for the first time ever, we've gone, well over $200 million at $217 million, resetting the bar once again. That I don't know, honestly, guys. I mean, we're all going to be paying attention to what's going on here for the whole month of January and beyond into Monterey Historic Car Week. That's always a big one. We're going to be paying a lot of attention as the year goes on. But I would be shocked if anything comes close, anybody or anything comes close to doing what happened at Mecum Kissimmee this year.
John, you went over. Did you go over to 3,500 cars? Did you get close to the 4,000 mark?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we came real close. We actually sold with a 90% sell-through rate 2,954 cars. Almost 3,000 cars were sold. And keep in mind, we're reserve auction.
Yeah.
Sellers had the option of placing a protected reserve price. And back, pre-pandemic, 65 to 70% was a very, very strong number. But we know now that this pandemic era has affected things in a unprecedented fashion. And not only did we generate record dollar volume, but record sell-through rate every single day of the auction. Every day from what we call first Thursday to the final Sunday, this auction spends 11 straight days. Every single day was an all-time Mecum record for a single day at Kissimmee. every day. So it's not like just the stuff on the high end or the collections, everything from the inexpensive cars to the $13 million plus cars we sold there.
Right.
Also an all-time record at a Mecum auction.
John, I have another question.
Go ahead, Steve.
You want to go ahead?
No, go ahead.
John, I have another question for you, because a couple people asked this, and I didn't know the answer to it, and neither did anybody that we were all with, and nor Mike or Kenny or Todd knew this. So if you get an internet buyer that buys a car off the auction block, and it gets delivered to them, say, a couple states away, and the car is not what's disclosed, or they're not happy with it, is there like an inspection thing, or how does that work?
Well, listen, John, I'm gonna ask if we can do real quick and just go to a break, and then as soon as we get back, Steve, we'll see if John will hang on. John, will you hang on, do that, and come back and answer that question?
Oh, of
awesome.
course.
Thank you so much. We're American Car Classics. We're gonna run to a quick break. We'll be right back. Please hang on.
At Dolphin Auto, not only are they ASE certified techs, they're also your local friendly U-Haul dealer. Hi, this is Wayne Dillon of Planet Vero and Livestream. Kenny and his crew rescued me from a possible major disaster. My RV was ready for a trip, but needed a major tune-up. I called Kenny and he got it done quickly and efficiently, and I didn't miss my trip at all. Thanks to Kenny and the staff at Dolphin Auto. These guys and girls know what they're doing. Call 321-984-8322.
If you want a home that has the style of the coast, come to Sunshine Furniture during the Tommy Bahama and Lexington half-price spring home event. Now until February 28th, you save 50% on all bedroom, dining room, media, office, and occasional furniture with fresh finishes and rich textures made from materials that reflect the essence of coastal living. At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is also filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture from Universal, Hooker, Riverside, Four Seasons, and Capri. We are the outdoor furniture experts and have the largest selection of patio furniture anywhere. Visit Sunshine Furniture now during the Tommy Bahama and Lexington half-price spring home event. All pictures, lamps, and accessories are 50% off. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com. Also, don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store just across the street.
Shop the Habitat Restore in Vero Beach, the store that builds houses. The Habitat Restore is where you'll find new and gently used items such as furniture, home decor, building materials, appliances, lighting, and much more. Did you know 1 in 3 Habitat homes are built by the Indian River Habitat Restore? And tax-deductible donations can be dropped off at the Habitat Restore, just north of 45th Street on US 1 in Vero, or they'll pick them up for free. So support the store that builds homes. Visit online at irchabitat.org.
The Bottle Shop. Liquor, wine from France, Italy, Spain, and California. They even do deliveries and parties. Are you planning an event? Bottle Shop provides liquor and wine on consignment. Pay for the booze you use. They deliver anywhere on the island. Hotel rooms, too. The Bottle Shop, next to the Boiler Bar, both on Ocean Drive in Vero Beach. The Bottle Shop, 772-231-0277.
New Vision Eye Center invites you to visit Dr. Paul Minotti, Dr. David O'Brien, Dr. Stephen Tate, and Dr. Robert Reinauer for customized cataract surgery, laser vision correction, state-of-the-art glaucoma treatment and surgery, retina care, and eyelid surgery, plus general ophthalmology. New Vision Eye Center provides world-class eye care in a patient-friendly environment. 772-257-8700 or visit newvisioneyecenter.com.
Second segment in the first half hour of our show. This is American Car Classics, and on the phone with us still is John Craman from Mecum Auctions. John, thank you for hanging on during the break. We hope it wasn't too long.
My pleasure, guys.
We freewheel around here. Hey, so Steve was asking a question right before we went to break, and it's a big one. The buyer beware. It's the whole premise of going in an auction in person versus that online bidder. But that online bidder can't be there for a reason, and he depends on what, John, to know that he's getting a good car.
Here is what we do. This is a free service. We provide it for all registered bidders, whether it be a telephone bidder or an internet bidder. We contact them when the car actually comes to the auction, and we get them on a cell phone, and we walk around the car with doing a preview in great detail, asking for their input as well. Any questions are answered. We do it factually. We do it objectively. We do not try to oversell. We don't undersell. Everybody that's involved in a car preview is a car guy. I've done a ton of them over the years myself. We've been doing this for about 15 years. We've done literally thousands of car previews, and we've not had not one single individual buyer that once they got their car, they felt like the car was not described accurately. And if that was the case, social media would light up like crazy, and the word would be out. Can't trust these guys. And of course, that's not the case. We get it. We eat, live, and breathe this stuff. The entire staff that's involved with those do, and it should give a potential absentee bidder a little bit of extra peace of mind. And a lot of the cars that we sell are highly decorated, judged cars of a very high caliber. That in itself offers credibility, but that extra little bit of look-see that we provide as a free service goes a long way to make people feel better.
That is very big. I used to arbitrate at an auction over in Clearwater here in Florida, and we knew that we gave them 24 hours to come out and argue anything with us, but we did not go looking for those problems. We let them come to us with their cares and concerns after they had bought the car, and we thought that was certainly a fair thing,
Yeah, very much. Everybody does it a little bit different. We've also got people on site. If somebody has a problem with the car they just purchased, we've got a staff on site to be able to get involved between the buyer and the seller and get any issues that are resolved. But interestingly, we try to get as much of that done up front before the car hits the auction. Things like making sure that the descriptions are accurate. When we see statements like numbers matching or one owner or original paint, original engine, that sends up all these red flags with our presentation folks, and they'll get a hold of the consignor and let them understand that if they're making these statements, we need proof of that, or we need to remove that from the description of the vehicle. And then we also make sure that, of course, all the VINs are attached properly and do not appear to have been altered, and just as importantly, that we have a legal, valid, negotiable title that has the correct VIN, year, make, and model on it as well. And if it doesn't, we've got procedures to get that straightened away. Usually it's just an error. We've all dealt with that in dealing with cars over the years, and one or two numbers are wrong, but we have a process for that. All of that for not one, for our reputation, but number two, to make sure that a potential buyer is going to be happy with his purchase.
Yeah, I think, John, I've even heard you say as you're reading it, as it's going across the block, that the owner claims or owner states something that may have been a little gray, but still made it across into your readings. But I know that you have even done that just off the cuff and said that. I've heard you say it, and I think it's a great thing because liability is a big one and concerns, and you want to let the person that's looking to buy this car what the owner is stating, but at the same time you want to let them know that maybe there's not a lot of fact base to that one yet or something. So I like that feature as well.
Well, that's a good point. That not only is the seller responsible for any statements made, but any statement that we might make on air. And we've been doing this now. We just started our 15th year of television. It's never happened, knock on wood. But if a buying decision was made on something that we might have said, as an example, bid goes on, somebody saw it on TV, it didn't sell, and they bought it, and they said, well, John said XYZ. We don't want to have to get in the middle of that and defend it. So we try to keep it factual and objective. And I would say that we're probably, the Mecum staff's about probably 99.9% accurate on making sure that the descriptions and the vehicles are exactly as represented. And I think we have a reputation for that over the years as well.
Yeah,
We've earned it.
Mecum in 15 years on TV, and since you guys' inception has been going and growing and everything else. Last year, when we talked earlier about before Kissimmee hit, we talked about that you had 3 shows in October. We know after we the American Car Guys, we met up with David Morton over the weekend, and we had a nice talk and hung out with him for a while on the first Saturday. We did learn that Chattanooga was not on the calendar right now, but we do know that there was an announcement made on the second week of Kissimmee about Florida and what you're all doing in July.
Yes, and you got to keep an eye on Mecum.com to keep up with everything that's happening. It's possible that there may be some additional auctions yet to be added. That's why it's important to invite everybody to keep an eye on the website.
And we do.
But thank you. That Florida market has been so strong that we've decided to come back. It'll be actually our 3rd year in the summer. We call it our summer special, 3 years in a row now. 1,000 cars, July 7th, 9th at the beautiful Orlando Convention Center.
And we smile at that 1,000 cars, John, because we know you're not going to hold to it.
It's going to go over that.
We put a target out for all of our auctions. We call it sizing an auction.
Okay.
And we'll put a target out there, and sometimes we'll hit it, sometimes we'll be a little short, but that's just a target that we put out 6 months in advance.
Right.
And there's no way to know. We could go over, we could be less, but it's going to be big because last year I think we did $30 million at our summer special last year. We're not going to give that up.
Right. No, absolutely not.
No.
And it's inside, which is even nicer. It's nice
Mike,
and cool.
You really enjoyed it last year when the air conditioning had just made such a big deal.
Yeah.
Two quick things, John. We've got a 3 minutes left real quick.
Sure.
Todd, who is not here today, he owns a 67 Pro Street Chevy pickup truck. He watched one go across the block Saturday. It was S144. It sold for $300,000.
There's so many examples of that where prices were just astonishing. We know that generation of Chevy pickup, the 67 through 72 Glamour era trucks, they're hot, probably the hottest truck out there right now. But that's just one indication of just the absolute astonishing success of the vehicles across the auction block. It's pretty crazy right now. Market's heated up.
Yeah.
And then one that I saw that really has piqued my interest because I'm interested in the car that I'm trying to make a deal on was a 65 GTO that was black on black, and it was a Resto Mod, LS, everything else, and it brought $137,000. Tell me just how do we know the BOP guys? We're Chevrolet guys, they're Ford guys, they're Chrysler guys. How do you know the BOP guy, the Buick Olds Pontiac guy?
Well, the market right now is evolving, and it's evolving in a manner where corporate identity is becoming less of an issue than it was in the past, and owner loyalty. A cool car is a cool car, whether it's a GM Orphan like Olds and Pontiac right now.
Right.
Buick is still with us, but certainly not anything like it was in the past.
No.
Chevrolet's still going strong, and Ford's still going strong. We saw record prices on Camaros, particularly 69s and 70s, and Mustangs of the same vintage. They were on fire crazy with a new generation of buyer that I think is resonating with new vehicles that are out there. They want an old one and they want a new one. And I think this is going to continue putting, LS engines in, vintage performance cars. If that's a way to keep this hobby moving forward, keep people engaged in it, I'm in favor of it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it myself personally, but I respect those that do, and I personally am okay with it.
And sometimes it doubles the price, putting an LS motor in it.
And other things. Suspension upgrades, brakes. The list goes on. Interiors.
Yeah.
It's a wild free-for-all right now out there, and it's fun being a part of it.
Yeah.
Calling the action on it.
Yeah. All right. Well, John, listen, I really appreciate you letting us bug you one more time. We are going to ask to talk to you again before, around the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So for the next 6 months, stay healthy and stay safe, and sell your butt off, man. That's awesome.
Hey, thanks, guys. Everybody be safe and have fun driving those cool cars.
You got it.
Thanks,
Talk to you, John.
Thank you so much. That was John Cramen from the Mecum Auctions, and we are American Car Classics, and we'll go on a hard news break, and
we'll be back.
Yeah.